You guys are pieces of shit. I'm gonna sue you dumb bitches for millions now.
What's your name, badge number?
Yeah,
I don't like your f***ing attitude already.
It's okay.
Each one of these jackboot thugs sitting here now is literally a Nazi.
Listen to me real fucking carefully.
Sir.
I ain't Willy Wonka. I don't sugarcoat shit, sweetheart.
You is not gonna put your hands on me, bro. I swear to God, you's not, dude. You is not. I'm not going across the street, you coward.
This is definitely a public area.
You done violated my First Amendment rights. You done violated me.
Look it up. No, look, I walk this way. No, I walk this way then.
Say it to my face. I bet you won't.
Where the hell's Ming Lane?
No! He's very horny.
I actually don't have to answer any goddamn questions because I have a Fifth Amendment right.
Now that tells me he wants to shoot me. That tells me he wants to riddle my body with bullets.
You're gonna piss me off? Buddy boy, you're gonna learn.
Trash cop, pig, checking out the public space. Ooh, you got the Hershey Kisses. Awesome.
She's kidnapped me now. That's kidnapping.
Touch me again. Touch me again. You're calling the fucking cops? Yeah, fuck off, asshole.
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna close the door. I'm just gonna close it. I don't care. Go with me. Go with me. I don't like you.
Buddy what? I ain't your buddy. Your buddy's in your fucking... Your buddy's in your pants. I ain't your buddy.
I'm not gonna slow anything. You don't tell me what to do, sir. This is my freedom of speech. You don't like it? Get to work.
Get your face out of my face.
No, get your hand out of my face.
You came up to me.
Your
hands are in his face, sir.
Tell your boy, he puts his hands on me again illegally, I'm gonna fuck him up.
I'm here doing my job, working 12-hour shifts every day.
Yep, I'm doing my job.
Yep.
You're dark. Basically, shut your mouth and go back to work.
What's your name?
What's your name?
It's my right. I make the quadruple as you. Have a nice day. You're rude. You look miserable in life.
I'm not detained. I'm not a suspect. If you touch me, we're gonna have problems. You're right. I'm allowed to defend myself.
You're a fucking lesbian. You gonna put my dick in you?
I'm suing everybody.
Hey, what is up? You there, Mr.
What's
Thomas?
going on? What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you?
Oh, okay. I'm doing all right.
All right. Will might show up also, and David is going to join us a little bit later. So we're going to start this little thing, just you and me, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Let me say hi to Old School Freedom. Congratulations. Thank you. Very nice. You must feel like a real YouTuber. From News Now, Lisa. Oh my God. Lisa is probably the real one, right? Lisa Sowa from the channel News Now, Lisa. Yeah, I feel like a real YouTuber. I made a year. I know you laugh at me, I don't care. Huh?
That's the real News Now, Lisa?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Such a has-been,
Yeah.
I mean, too bad she's not like the big frauditors out there, because, nobody knows who she is. So we can move on.
Well, I mean, she have her own style. You can't say that like that. She's vocal, to say the least.
She's vocal, all right.
Yeah, very vocal. Her video a little bit all over the place, but she's devoted, so I'm gonna give her that. Peter the Mesh that tried to be mean with me for some reason. 1 year anniversary, you have only 4.2 K subscriber. Yeah, man. We're in a niche. Frauditing is not like talking about Star Wars or whatever. It's not universal, and my amount of subs are growing months after months, and I'm very happy of what I accomplished on my first year of doing this little channel here. So I'm happy with this.
Well, 4.2 subscribers is a good thing. I know I see fraud of the channels that doesn't even have that amount.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Far from it, actually. Like a guy like Lucky Laptop News would love to have those number, by the way. So it's okay.
He sure would.
Yeah, I was aware that it was that when I start this thing that it would be a slow rise, but it's okay. I was expecting 5K on my first year, so as I like to say, I'm close enough. News Now Lisa 4.2 is it's my first year. You know what I mean? I know a lot of channel that already been doing their stuff for like a couple of years. They don't even get close with that. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been following your channel since the very first video you did.
Oh, thanks, man.
So yeah, I've been
But-
subscribed ever since then.
Yeah, I know. I noticed your name since day one. Look, we're gonna have a little fight here. Who's your old shtick is based on a false premise. This episode with no fraud associated with the first amendment. Oh my God, Peter.
Oh,
Look,
Peter, I guess you don't get it.
I'm all about freedom of.
It's a reason why we call. It's a reason why we call them frauditors. I mean, because basically, if you have to lie to your base or whoever, the people who they'll watch just to bail them out of jail, always ask for money, call themselves journalists when they're not journalists. So basically, that's a fraud.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what journalists always have to be bailed out of jail.
Yeah.
Or send money, you know what? You might as well be a televangelist that's always asking for money. They might as well go into business doing that.
I know it's a grift, and you might not be happy with it, Peter, but it is a grift. It's a fraud. It's a scam, and too bad you don't understand any of it. And I don't really care. I'm not gonna spend an hour talking with this dude. I don't care what he says though, because I'm all about freedom of speech.
See, but
it's
the freedom of speech. Yeah, everybody's for freedom of speech except the frauditor.
Exactly. They hate freedom of speech. The second you say anything that they don't want to hear or it goes against what they believe, they just, call you name. They have no argument whatsoever. They just call you name, call you a bootlicker, and that's the end of it. So, I'm curious to see this. Wait a second. News Now Lisa says, I guess you don't know about Lucky's real channel. Well, can you put the name of that channel in the comment, please, so I can visit it? I'm curious. But I don't think it.
What's his real channel called? Help me fix up my house. I mean, have you seen his house? The man literally got a Coke machine in his living room that doesn't have any Cokes in it at all.
And Lisa says, I never ask anybody for any money, which is not true, Lisa. Come on. I seen some of your video where you put your all your link to get to the nation and even your OnlyFans. So, I mean, come on, please.
Wait a minute.
There's a bunch of...
she got an OnlyFans page.
Yeah.
I mean, most likely she have to pay people to watch her. I'm sorry. I mean, I've seen News Now, Lisa. I'd rather stick my eyes, with some needles.
That's not very nice, but okay.
I'm
David
sorry,
is in the house.
I know sometimes they ask for it.
Yeah, I know. I have a hard time sometimes being mean in a way that when I make my video, it's like a character. The exposer is a character. So, and as a character, I have, it's easy to roast. As a guy, you just talk to people. I'm not as, mean per se. So,
I'm not mean. I'm just petty.
Yeah.
I'm a petty person. As Will, I am petty. I'm not mean, just petty.
Yeah, but
Well, what's the difference?
I am a bit, David, what's up, David?
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
What's up, David?
Central Texas traffic on Friday.
David
no
E.
problem.
Peoples.
Mr. Thomas, how are you? I haven't seen you for a while.
Well, I was supposed to be on his show this morning, but something happened, and
But StreamYard was having some sort of really strange issue this morning.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it couldn't connect to YouTube or something. There were several live streams that didn't go on because of that. I'm not sure what the deal was. They got it fixed apparently, but I don't know what was going on. It was really strange.
Well, I didn't know about that. Well,
anyway, they got it fixed, so that's okay.
Yeah. Looks like we're alive, so it's okay. So there's a little bit of a debate in the comment section with people that I'm surprised are here, like Lisa. Putting up your cash isn't asking for money. Yeah, it's not directly asking, but I mean, come on, close enough. But hey, you know what, Lisa? I'm glad you're here. I love when there's frauditors or I'm gonna say auditors and whatever that show up in this debate. Yeah.
When they put a message on screen to say donations are welcome if you want to keep on for this fight for freedom, which I use air quotation marks, that's kind of, asking for money.
Well, my question is always at that point, freedom to do what exactly? I've never understood what it is they're going for. I don't get it. Why they have picked the freedom to record people in a post office as the hill they want to die on, I just don't get it at all. That's just silly.
It is very silly.
Hey, I see Darth Wonderleg Jen is here. What's going on, Darth Jen?
Yeah, Darth Jen is in the house. I love Darth Jen.
Hey, Jen.
One of most devoted followers of this channel, and she's always there. I love Darth Jen, and I hope you're doing well. I know she had a little bit of a rough patch lately. Yeah, go for it.
And I could give you another example. Okay, for the DMA, and you had that whole Colorado group. They actually started a whole like a pool to put money in to bail people out of jail by asking their fans to send them money. Say if you to keep sitting so we could bail if what's the chick that he hang out with?
Do you think we're going to see with them?
Yes. DMA and what's the chick that's old enough to be his mama he be with?
Reagan Benson.
Yeah, Reagan. Yeah, and then I guess his ex-girlfriend or his girlfriend. Anytime they go to jail, they got enough money in this pool to bail themselves out of jail, and they always asking for donations. So yeah, that's why the term frauditor comes around.
Well, another thing about that though is that despite all of that, let's say that they have enough money to get out of jail. Okay, whatever. They're never going to be able to get out of their criminal records. And those criminal records will follow them till the day they die.
Hey, by the way, Robert, News Now Lisa has a question for you. So, Mr. Thomas, do you got a pork chop in your mouth? So you have an answer for that?
Actually, no, I don't have a pork chop in your mouth, but on your OnlyFans page, you probably do. So let's not go there, News Now Lisa, because you're not, you know what? Let's move on with the show. I don't want to say nothing to bring down the thing because I believe we all have seen her before.
It's the first time she show up on the live stream though, so she waited a year for me to show up. So usually a broken system, broken trust is showing up sometime, but not for the last couple of weeks, sadly.
Well, I was hoping he was going to show up and debate that one.
Yeah, no. Everybody I asked so far, and I asked a bunch, they don't want to debate, and I kind of get it because there's nothing to debate. You know what I mean? So it's like they're just gonna call me a bootlegger. It's gonna be the end of it. So it's kind of
I don't know why he probably didn't show up.
He knew he was going to lose.
Yeah,
no, he had an appointment for a bath. So
yeah, he had to go to the dentist and get his tooth drilled. I'm sorry.
I love I just want to say something because this is something that come up a lot. This is not an actual argument to say that something else is more popular. It's
what I mean.
Like McDonald's sell more burger than like an actual good restaurant. That doesn't make it a good burger. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like McDonald's sells a lot of burgers, but Kincaid's in Fort Worth has been named the best hamburger in America for how many years running now? It's not the same thing. But I'm sure McDonald's sells more. Yeah, you're right.
Quantity and quality has nothing to do together, and especially not on YouTube because the most seen channel are horrible most of the time. So you know what I mean? This is not an argument. Come up with something, and that's the thing with people that frauditor and people that love frauditors. They don't have argument. They don't have actual argument. So they're just gonna try to insult you. They're gonna say, "Oh, this guy has more view than you." Yeah. So what? That's not an argument. This is not. It's nothing. You know what I mean? Like, try to come up with something that goes with what we're actually saying. Come with a legal argument. Try to challenge the legality of what we're saying, because what I'm saying on this channel has been validated by a lawyer. So it's like
Adam. Did you see what Adam said down there? Adam's got a very good point. One of their main fallback. You ever notice when the fraudsters will sit there and try to claim legal stuff that's not legal and not true, and then they'll do this and that. Finally, when they run out of all their arguments, they just start to say insulting people. And Adam's right. I mean, it's the ad hominem. The ad hominem attacks don't make you right. They just make you a jerk. You know, attacking someone else's character or just attacking them because you can't win. That's not how you win a debate. You win a debate, Lisa, by being right and knowing what you're talking about. And so far, I haven't seen a single frauditor who can do that. I've challenged anybody to have an open debate.
Look again. This is not even an argument. Look at the guy. This is not even an argument. This is nothing. So it's like this is boring with those dude. And this is why like no one of them want to debate, because it's just gonna go to insult right away, and I don't want to insult. Like if I would have received Josh from broken face, broken whatever, my goal would have not to insult him and talk about his teeth and whatever. You know, I wanted to have a legit conversation with him.
But they won't do it because they know they don't have anything to say. They don't have an argument. Peter, all right, what would you like? All right, no, I want to ask Peter a question in the chat. All right, what kind of original content would you like? Let's talk about something. Let's actually have a debate. Come on.
Yeah, and by the way, I made my own video, so it is original. Like I make those videos myself, so I don't know the really, you know what I mean, nothing. So
none of these guys know what they're talking about.
And the thing that he don't understand, these frauditor channels is nothing but a prank channel. That's all they are.
Yeah, that's what they are. John Legato calls them street performers. That's exactly what they are.
Yeah,
that's all they are.
Much. And it's funny that someone like that someone want to support like criminals like that, but not just small criminals like, you know, they got caught with weed or whatever, like actual criminals, you know, domestic abuser, like home invasion, like assault.
And it's amazing
like, you know,
how many of them have got domestic abuse convictions or at least domestic abuse charges.
That's crazy. And the kid stuff, the kiddie stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and you want to support that community, you want to be behind those people. Like, it's okay. Like, I released a video about the Tyrant Terminator a couple of days ago, and I received like comments. There's always a couple of people that say, oh, that guy's the best one. He's doing the right work and everything. Do you know who is that man? Do you know what the Tyrant Terminator did in his life? He's a disgusting freaking criminal, but not a cute one, you know, like I was stealing like to save my family. No, he's a piece of garbage. And people like they're gonna
he's not as I think he ranks right up there with Coot 90 Press. What's that band up there in Washington State that shot the homeless guy?
Yeah, that's
Coot 90 Press.
Yeah.
Yes. When you mention him to the other frauders, I never heard of him. I never seen him.
Oh, who are you talking about? I don't know what he did.
I'm like, you sure you don't? You know, you sure you never heard of him?
Well, this Peter Demestri guy said something else in the chat that I think is ridiculous. At least they're not simply reusing other people's content. Who's doing that here? We have not used anyone's content today at all. We're talking about an issue. And even if somebody runs a video, if they want to make commentary about it and they want to criticize it, that's called thinking.
Hey,
something that side never does.
He may want to go look at Carolina's Fort Worth channel because she reviews videos all the time.
Yeah,
so
some of these guys just steal videos and say, "Here's this video. That's my commentary," and then that's all they say.
Yeah. Oh my God. Josh Abrams is the best at that. Every day he releases video of other people, put his little bit of in comments on it, and that's it. That's all. So talk about it being original.
I mean, Fraud of the Shenanigans cover her today. She's a complete idiot.
And there's a thing I want to say here. We already learned if a frauditor get demonetized, they stop. And that's why we call them frauditor, because it's all about the money. The minute YouTube is going to stop financing those prank channel, trust me, buddy,
right.
They're all going to be gone, man. They're all going to like disappear like cockroach when you open a light. It's going to be quick. And that's, you know, why I think it's
Peter wants an example of what? Of somebody who is a criminal. Almost all of them have criminal records.
All of them. All of them.
Not all of them. There's a couple that haven't gotten busted yet because they're too young, but most of them have extensive.
See, again, look, he tried to come up with an insult. You know what I mean? It's those things that just, you know, you cannot really argument with those people. It's just insult. You want me to insult you people? You're ugly. You have a big nose. Nothing you said so far make any sense. Nobody like you on this chat. You'd say there's only 20 people, whether 20 of them hate your face right now. See, it's easy to do, man, but that doesn't lead anywhere.
And he didn't make any point about us being right. He's just insulting you. You're right.
That's so easy to do. And by the way, we're 25 now, Peter. You know, like so.
I would like Peter to say something in the chat. I want to see a legitimate defense of First Amendment auditing. Tell me something that it actually accomplishes.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see this. Come on. That's a challenge.
Just don't insult me. Just give me why, you know, they're doing the good thing. And then, you know, we'll talk. Otherwise, it's just insulting to insulting, and that's all they got. If YouTube were to permanently demonetize, they would be gone so quick. Maybe Long Island audit would still be there, but that's it. Whoa, a fraud supporter is here. Yeah. Hey, Will. By the way, I sent you the invitation. If you want to show up,
Hey, Will.
Yeah, it would be nice, man. Would be nice. Been a couple of weeks. I haven't talked to you, buddy. Look, we're gonna be able to talk about all that stuff. US versus Cordova. That's one thing.
Hey, Exposer, I'll send Will the link again.
Look, I'm gonna start a little. Oh, so Will's gonna be there, so it's okay. We're gonna manage. Too bad, man. Would have been fun, but happy Saturday from Melbourne again. Yeah, Andrew live in the future, so he's always there to tell us what's gonna happen. So it's great.
Yeah, tell us what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I knew like Trump's gonna be elected before, so it's fantastic. I always know everything. Jazz can stay, but one stop second relation. Thank you, Jazzy. I appreciate. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna be able to talk about all the thing we're talking about right now, but just a little bit more organized. So we're gonna do a top 5 of the thing I learned in my first year on YouTube as Nenta Frauditing channel, and it's not necessarily things like I learned that I had no idea about. It's just things that I acquire more knowledge about, and then I'm like, those things are really make no sense. So it's not necessarily something I learned, but it's something that I learn more about. And it's gonna give us the chance to chit chat, about those different points, and it's gonna take things organized a little bit. So I'm gonna have this here. Yeah, top 5. What did I learn about frauditing? I don't even remember my own list, so I'm going to discover it with you. Point number 5. Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah, they hate freedom of speech and the Constitution. So we talked a little bit about that already. They hate freedom of speech. Why? Because as soon as you say something that goes against them, they copyright strike you. They insult you. They send their little army to,
call flood.
Send a bunch of call flood, send a bunch of bad comments. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking with Will that he made a video about flex your freedom, and he received a bunch of comments right away of people saying that, threatening him and stuff like that. Completely crazy. And they hate the Constitution. Why? Because they don't even understand it. First of all, they think there's just only 5 points, not even 5, 1, 2, 4, and 5. And they never
don't understand it, or they don't know it.
No, exactly. They have no idea that there's.
Reminds me of that scene from Animal House when they're sitting there hitting the, when one of the guys is abusing their pledges, and Outer looks at the other guy and says, "He can't do that to our pledges. Only we can do that to our pledges." And that's kind of the same argument that the frauders make. Nobody else can do this. Only we can do this.
But when you ask them about this goes back to what I say every time I'm on Hands Show in the morning. When you ask the frauders or even the sovereign citizens about the 10th Amendment, they act like the 10th Amendment doesn't exist at all.
Yep. Oh, no, it's not there, man. It stopped at number 5, and that's it. and they don't even understand it. Like they're gonna say First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, and Fifth Amendment a lot. They don't get none of those 3. The second one, of course, is something else.
They definitely don't understand the 4th.
No, they don't. Exactly. They don't understand the 4th at all. So they don't even like the thing. They say that they're defending it, but they don't even appreciate it. And they don't even not only appreciate it, but they don't even quote it the right way. They don't even. I wonder if they actually read the thing, because it's very easy to read. By the way, and the first time I read it, I did get it, but I did deeper my knowledge with it.
With poster 7.
Yeah, I mean. I'm not gonna start with poster 7 right now. This thing just pissed me off. I made a video about this moron Central Tyrant investigation getting kicked out.
Yeah, he got embarrassed about that.
Yeah, but then what happened the next day? What happened the next day? They all say they were sorry. The cops say they were sorry. The post office say they were sorry. It's it's so frustrating. You have the rules on your side, man. Just learn it, and use it. And that's going to be my next point, by the way. So we're not going to go too deep in there right now. We're just going to stay on the freedom of speech and the Constitution real quick to finish that point. But yeah, so basically, I didn't know how much they hate freedom of speech when I start my channel. I have to be honest. I received bad comments and copyright strike right away, and I was like, "Oh my god, those guys are closed mind. Those guys, they're
they definitely don't like it when you show up on their live stream and correct them or either or call them out. They either
oh my
block you
god."
or put you in timeout.
Yeah, they always say they're about education. Like, yeah, right. Like, I'm trying to educate you, and it's funny because sometimes the knowledge I have, like as I say, come from an actual lawyer, and so I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm right on this point. You know what I mean? And they're just gonna call you. They're just gonna insult you basically. And I'm gonna point out real quick, Darjen. You know, I'm not a grifter, so I'm not asking for money. I'm not e-begging ever, but I do appreciate those little gesture right there. And know people that are member and everything, that every dollar I can make with this channel just go back on the channel. So it's like there's no grift here. It's all appreciated and it's all reuse. Yeah.
It's not like you're using to bail yourself out of jail. I mean,
exactly. I'm not begging people to get me out of jail because I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Or if you like, let me audit you and go buy you a fancy camera.
yeah.
Or,
It's by my.
or I can keep going, or either use the money that you send. When you keep sending LIA or no, not LIA. What's the Ask Emma all around the world? He the main one always asking for money. So when you send him to Hawaii or anywhere else, that's where your money doing.
Yeah, exactly. A guy like Press NH now literally stopped working in the winter. Like, he made so much money that he stopped working for 4 or 5 months a year, and then he came back in April, insulting people all the way to October, and then he stopped. So that guy can work 6 months a year insulting people on sidewalk, and that's it, man. He received enough money to do that. That's insane, Like, I don't understand how people can finance that stuff, but whatever.
Press English now really should do something about his face. For a grown man to have that much acne is ridiculous.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, now let's not stoop to their level. Come on.
I told you I'm petty. I look at the smallest things about people.
Mr. Thomas said he was petty and he wants to reach certain levels sometimes. So we're gonna let him express his own freedom of speech because contrary of what it says on the screen, we believe and we support freedom of speech. For me, is one of the biggest, most important thing in every country. Freedom of speech is major. So I do respect that. I do appreciate it. And I do respect the U.S. Constitution. And I did read it and I did understand it. And I advise frauditors to do the same at one point and to go further than the fifth one, because there's more than the fifth one. So we're gonna skip. I just want to point out a couple of things. Paul Cohen here. So it appeared that good guy activism is demonetized again. I didn't know that. I'm not surprised. I don't know what he did though. Do you know what he did, Paul? Yeah,
he can finally get him a job, an actual job.
Who would hire that guy? He's not. I would have like a Subway sandwich place, and I would not hire a guy like that. Like, where can you hire a guy like that?
Well, and that's part of the problem. These guys don't seem to understand that what happens when they want to have a career or a real job, or they want to get married and raise kids and have to support them. How are they going to get a job with some of the criminal records some of these guys have? They're not.
Yeah, they're not.
That's the problem with good guy. He has. He was even on Fraud of the Trolls live stream and said, and asked when is he going to take care of his children. He never answers the question. So
yeah, there's a lot of we're talking about criminals and everything. There's it's not criminal, but there's a bunch of deadbeat dad in the frauditing community who doesn't pay their whether their
child support at all.
Yeah, so which is a crime. But
those in the chat who seem to think we don't know what we're talking about, go look it up. That is all public record. I mean, you can look all that stuff up, and it can be displayed. It can be shared. It's not doxing, because that's a public legal record.
Especially when
criminal record.
And it's real bad when some of them take their children with them frauded. Have y'all seen any of those videos?
Yeah. Oh, Eli has totally corrupted his son.
Yeah. Yeah. He did. His son is completely. Yeah, it's sad though. It's to take your kids,
That's
and
just sad. Yeah, that really is.
that's very sad because those guys they paint themselves in a corner. They're never gonna get job. They can't even travel at one point because they're gonna be on some kind of no fly list or whatever. They cannot even get a job at Target because of the criminal history. Why you would put your own son into that same situation? That's as a father, I really don't get it. And if you want to be an idiot and do those things yourself, don't put your family in it.
I mean, I told Hess yesterday. I remember in school when you had like the career day. Can you imagine a child bringing their fraud dad to the career day?
Well, what do you
And you
do for a
literally
living, sir? I'm an officer in the Navy. What do you do for a living, sir? I'm a
yes,
doctor. What do you do for a living, sir? I harass people and
I
yell at them
harass
and
people
stuff
for a
like
living.
take money.
I stay all day in front of a bank and I wait for them to call, because they're suspicious. So
Or
it's
better
yeah,
yet,
it's pretty much.
I stand on the sidewalk with a mask on, not asking for any attention, but I stand on the sidewalk, record people with a disguise on the entire day. That's what I
Yeah,
do.
that's what. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go to point number 4. I think we're all clear on the fact that they don't respect freedom of speech and they don't know the Constitution at all. But I was surprised how much, the extent of how little do they care about this thing that they pretend to defend so much. Anyway, point number 4: law enforcement is useless. Okay, and I'm not saying like in general, even if whatever. But when it comes to First Amendment auditor, they're completely useless. I was surprised when I start to watch video at first how little they understand about it, how little they want to get involved, how little you know what I mean? They're useless. And I received so many comments saying like I'm a bootlicker and everything. And every time I'm like, well, I never defend those guys. They're there. I don't want them to be there. I'm talking about the frauditors. It's not my fault if people call the cops all the time. They're just like there. But this is not a pro cops channel. This is an tough frauditing channel. But I was amazed. I was surprised how little law enforcement
Well,
actually
some
do
of your
anything.
videos you do call out the police officers, though.
I do call them. I
Yeah,
all the
some of
time.
you do call them out.
Yeah, and that's a proof that every time I receive a bootlicker, it's like someone who have no idea what he's talking about. And I'm not against cops. That's not the point. It's not something where they can do anything. You know what I mean? And when they can like actually get kicked out and scored out, sometimes they don't even do it. The video that I released today about auditing for you, he goes in a place and he harassed those women, like he literally harassed women for an eternity. And cops
Dude
is
look
just
like
like,
Uncle
yeah.
Fester.
Sorry, what do you say?
Dude looks like Uncle Fester. Unclean Hands covered him also, and I don't got much to say about that guy. Just go ahead on. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the cops didn't do absolutely anything. They just let the guy there insulting them because he has a camera in his hand, and I don't get it, man. I really don't. And
I don't.
If you're a cop and you show up somewhere and the people there, they tell you that the guy is being a nuisance, he doesn't need services, he doesn't need their help, he's loitering, just escort the guy out. That's it. Don't get involved. Say, all right, take it out. And if the place that trespassed them did it in a illegal way because of racism, whatever, then sue them. I have nothing against that. Sue them if you want to.
See, the thing is, I don't get is they consider when they go into the post office, they doing business by buying one stamp and asking for a receipt. I'm like, but
Yeah.
technically, when you did your business, buying your one stamp and you sticking around, technically you are now loitering because you done did
It
what you
doesn't
have to do.
matter. Doesn't matter. They want to buy a stamp. The post office can like just kick them out anyway.
I think
Refuse.
we might want to correct that with law enforcement is useless. I think maybe to be fair to law enforcement, laws are often useless because a lot of the laws they have to enforce. I mean, there are in a lot of states there is no law that says they can't stand on a public sidewalk and annoy everybody to death. And unfortunately, the cops' hands are kind of tied, especially like out in California and places like that.
Yeah.
So the law is useless too. And so
Yeah.
I mean, the laws need to be strengthened. The laws need to be revisited so they can really give them some teeth. So the cops can just say, "You need to leave. You're not going to leave. Okay, turn around. You're under arrest."
Yeah.
And just because I mean, they're what are they doing when they go? Let's use the post office as an example. They are not exercising their First Amendment rights. They are loitering. They're engaged in criminal trespass. They're engaged in criminal harassment. And I wish the cops would do. There was one video about a week or two ago that Hez showed that just blew me away. I was on the day I was on the show. I guess it was last Friday, and the cop arrested him. Remember that it was a young kid in Wichita Falls. The cop arrested him for investigation of conspiracy to commit identity theft. They need to do that every time because that is exactly what they're doing. They're stealing people's identity with their cameras, and that they should do that every time. It gives them all the reasonable suspicion they need.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Rob. Go ahead.
Yeah, because that camera could also, you may not, like they say, well, I could record anything I could see with my eye, but the problem is that camera could zoom in.
Yeah, your eyes don't have
zoom in and get, yes, and you can still get that information. And plus, you also could pick up that information through your microphone if they're giving the information verbally.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to point your camera to the information. You can just get it with a microphone.
Yes.
And the post office is useless because none of the worker and few of the postmasters actually understand that it's not a public building, and it's not. I said it every time.
That's right, though. And Poster 7, they need to insist that those guys read the entirety of Poster 7, not just the first half of the sentence that plays to it, and then it says, "You can't do any of this, however, without the permission of the postmaster." Oh, whoa! I didn't know that. Okay.
But even then, if you just read the beginning of it, it still says that some media or info media can blah blah blah. It doesn't even if you read the first half, it doesn't give them anything. So it's not about like.
Can I mention something also about that about that poster? If they love to say, well, the police doesn't have any jurisdiction here because it's federal property. I'm like, well, if you go further down where it says enforcement, they do have jurisdiction there.
Of course they do. Of course.
Every state union has some form of concurrent jurisdiction where a local law enforcement officer can go on federal property if there is a crime in commission and deal with it. They don't. I mean, sorry, they have jurisdiction. End of discussion. They just do.
Yeah.
I mean, when
and,
they start
Paul Wright, it's not just sorry, Robert. It's not loitering. They're engaged in a constitutionally protected activity. Can you name the activity you're referring to? Because they say that sentence a lot. I never. What is the activity they're referring to? Journalism? Is that it? What is the constitutionally protected activity they're referring to? Because they say that all the time,
well,
and I still
there
wonder.
Are court cases that specifically define. Pierce versus Greene County out in Washington. You have to have a tertiary contract. You have to have reproducible work product. You have to have credentials from somebody other than yourself. That's what a tertiary contract is. Yeah. If you're an independent journalist, you have to be able to show your journalism somewhere. You have to have been published. You have to have some sort of publication. Pierce versus Greene County buries those guys.
And let me just say this: the Constitution doesn't mention anything about a camera. I mean, when they say the freedom of press, you can go in there with a pencil and a pad, or either pen on paper.
Yeah, exactly.
I know Abraham Lincoln. I can show you where Abraham Lincoln posted some stuff on the internet about
it. Yeah. All right. So that was my point. Of course, I'm being global here. Law enforcement is useless when it comes to frauditing. Of course, I would like them to. Law enforcement? Yeah. Go for it. Go for it before.
One more thing about law enforcement. Let me just say this: they are not required to get a supervisor.
No, they don't.
No, they are not required.
That's one of the stupid is. Yeah.
You can speak to the supervisor when you get to the jailhouse.
Well, that whole argument gets really interesting because, I was thinking of Long Island audience goes, it's your policy to do that. Well, I thought you didn't care about policies. I thought you just cared about laws. And they'll grab whatever suits them. I mean, if the policy
whatever
in favor, they'll say, oh, well, you're not following your policy. If it doesn't, they'll say, oh, you need to follow the law. Which is it, guys? Get with the program.
Because remember, he was at the jailhouse and he ran into the what is it? The what's the guy that's over the jail? That was over it. The warden. The warden. He gonna ask the warden, "Can I see your supervisor?" I'm like, "That's the warden. He's the highest person. He's the highest person there.
Well, no, you could call the governor, I guess. You know.
I believe the governor of the state had more things to do.
And another thing, you know, when they try to kick him out for trespassing, they say, "Oh, I want to talk to the owner." Well, what are they supposed to do? Call a board meeting for Verizon and have them issue no? The manager is in charge. The person who works there is in charge. They own, they lease or own, or they're in control of that property, and you have nothing to say about it. Being a taxpayer does not give you any rights except the right to pay taxes. That's it.
That's it.
Right.
I know. Anyway, look.
Sorry.
I'm going to go to another point. It's okay, man. It's fun. It's dynamic. That's what I wanted. I'm going to go to my third one. We talked a little bit about that sooner. They have no legal arguments. Look, in the last year, I received, I don't remember, I think it's 35,000 comments, something like that, whatever. I don't have the exact number. And I receive, the only comments that I received that are negative so far is bootlicker and you hate the Constitution. I received those two comments a bunch of time. Not that many time, but a bunch of time. Other than those two comments, that's it. I never, ever have anything else. Not once in a year I received a comment that says, a legal, you know what I mean? An actual argument saying you should like read this thing, you should like, consult this thing. Did you know about this thing? Not once in a year. So my conclusion is they have no legal arguments. David, you want to give me an input on that?
Yeah, they don't. You're right. They don't. And we have caught them several times. I remember I was on with, I think it was with Ray and Hezekiah a while back, and Rogue Nation came in to the chat and started spouting off all these cases. And he was just making stuff up as he went because none of the cases had anything. I happen to know most of them, the ones that he was trying to use. And none of them had anything to do with what he was talking about. I just started nailing him on it. He would quote, I forget which ones he quoted. I think Chicago versus Dairy Farm Transit or something. I forget which one it was. But I mean, it had nothing to do with anything that he was talking about. He just and that's what they do. They'll spout off some case law and think, and realize most people are not going to take the time to go look it up or learn it. And so they'll just go, oh, they must know what they're talking about, so I better shut up. They don't. They just make it up. They're grifting. They're lying. It's just the biggest bunch. It's the biggest bunch of nonsense I've ever heard. If they ever spout a law, insist they give you the reference, the citation, and quote it.
Yeah.
Well, Schroeder the cat said they're sovereign citizen light. So they like to, tell you case law. They have nothing to do with what's going on.
Absolutely. They're strong with that. Yeah, Smith v. Cummins or Brentford v. Hayes. Yeah, exactly. They just drop those things. They have no idea.
Used a lot. That Smith v. Cummins gets used in all kinds of inappropriate situations. I don't even think they've read that one.
No.
And I think Lucid Dream did a video when they was talking about I watched so many videos the other day. She watched a video about she did a video. What is it? Because it has something to do with the police officer. I know. I was supposed to have been ready for this. Where she did no, when the police when the police could look in your car or something, when it's out in the open and the police are looking in your car, they think it applies to them. But it doesn't. It applies to the police officer.
You mean plain view exception?
Yeah, plain view doctrine. See there? Plain view doctrine.
Yeah, it applies to cops, not to the citizen, yeah.
Yeah, it applies to the cops, but not to them.
Yeah.
Because if you put a flashlight in front of my camera, you blocking my plain view doctrine.
And they'll always start off Brainerd versus City of Rockford from 72, which is the one that establishes time, place, and manner. And they don't have a clue what that says.
Yeah. They use that one a lot.
Time, place, and manner, they just get confused all regardless. Yeah. Or they just don't understand it.
Yeah, I like Paul Cohen. Look, they have soliciting a trespass. That's another one that is absolutely no legal ground whatsoever. Plain view doctrine. Creepy David loved to use that one, and it's so stupid. It's so
Oh,
dumb.
Paul brings up another good one. Soliciting a trespass. There is no such thing as soliciting a trespass. A police
Yeah.
officer can ask anyone, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And if they say they
Exactly.
want him trespass, they can trespass him. They can ask, "Do you want him trespassed?" They can
That's what
ask
I'm telling
anything
you.
they damn well please. And there's no such thing as soliciting a trespass. It's just also police officers can be complainants on a disorderly conduct charge.
I just want them to show me the law where they can't be trespassed. Where they always say you can't trespass me from a public place. Okay, show me the law where you can't.
Oh,
Also,
and
the best,
Paul brings
the
up another
funniest
good one.
thing, the funniest thing with that though, with the trespassing thing, is they say you cannot trespass me unless I do a crime. But man,
That's
if you do a
crime.
crime, you're gonna get arrested. Then you know what I mean? Like it's stupid. It's so dumb. You cannot trespass me without a crime. Then you're gonna get arrested. You're not gonna get trespassed. It's so whatever.
And they don't have a clue. Paul brought up prior restraint as well. Prior
Yeah.
restraint is the government ordering a press agency or outlet to not publish something that's already printed, that's already written. It has nothing to do with standing there and blocking a camera. It has nothing to. I mean, they can do it. Sorry, folks, that's not prior restraint. Go look it up. These people know nothing about the law.
No.
Well, frauditors, they never claim to be the brightest, bulb out there. So.
Oh, they
No, of
claim
course
to
not.
be, but they're
But they
not.
pretend, exactly. That's the problem. They pretend to be. Every of their freaking channel is an educational, whatever channel. I want to educate you. Blah 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 blah. I mean, they pretend to be. They pretend to know more than everybody else. I made a video of DMA arguing with 4 different lawyers in an office. 4 of them, and you keep telling them you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, those 4 people, they had to study what, like 12 years to become freaking lawyers or whatever.
They're the ones with the law degree.
Yeah, exactly. And you still don't believe them.
Law and chicken preparation.
That's crazy, though. And just Paul Cohen says, "Thank you. I hate that the crime is trespassing." Exactly. So I would love. I was saying law enforcement is useless. I would love the cops to at least have a couple of knowledge of some repartee. You know what I mean? When they say you cannot trespass me without a crime, then they can say, "Well, with a crime, we're going to arrest you." It's like because those guys, they keep dropping those stupid freaking non-legal whatever sentences that they drop from out nowhere, but they never know what to say to them, and they make no sense. Everything we just said so far, we cannot trespass me without a crime, prior restraint, soliciting a trespass, all those things makes no sense.
Hey, unclean hands is in the house.
I know. I love that dude, man. I love that dude. And Unclean Hands, he comment on my video and everything. I love that he's around because he's one of my favorite. And thank you, buddy. Thank you for being here.
Can I mention one more thing real quick?
Go for it, bro.
When the thing I don't get is they say, well, if you don't want to be on the camera, create your own privacy. Okay, when they do that, then you lift your camera over the privacy what they don't put up, and you still, record them, or better yet, they'll go in the office and say, well, look at these people, they turned off all of the they turned off all of the computers and everything. They're not even working, so they're wasting your tax dollars. They turned off computers so you won't record, private information. So that's how they're creating privacy.
I'm just gonna say, look, it's been a year now that I don't know if I'm gonna reach a second year, because to be honest, I didn't thought I would make 1 year when I began this channel. I was like, I'm gonna do few months and I'm gonna be out. I'm not gonna be able to say anything more. But it's been a year and I still have something to say. So I don't know if I'm gonna reach a second year. But I'm challenging the frauditors that they don't listen. But if one of you listen, I'm challenging you. Give me a real comment. Give me a legal. Stop calling me a bootlicker. Stop calling me or say I hate the Constitution. Both of those things are false. And give me a real freaking argument. And by the way, the bootlicker thing, this is the stupidest thing ever. I released a video this week about a dude. Big Mike annoying people during a manifestation. They're protesters, and he annoying them. There's no cops in the video at all. Not even in the background. Nowhere in the video there's a freaking cop. Not a second. First comment I received, bootlicker. I'm like, okay, this is insane. This is crazy. Like, I made a video about like GC News Now, where like he annoy people in the street at night, and not one cop. Not nowhere in the video, not 1 second. Again, bootlegger. So I don't get it. Like they just drop that word like it means something, and it doesn't.
When you don't have any arguments and you don't have anything worth saying to
but
say.
I mean, yeah, but there's not even a cop in the video, bro. I mean, can you at least comment bootlicker if one, I don't critique their work because I critique their work a lot, and two, if there's at least a presence of a cop in the video, you know what I mean? If I may, and I try to avoid video from frauditors with cops because I'm tired of it. I try to find them, you know, without having those clowns to show up and not knowing what to do because they never do anything. So I try to find video without them, but I cannot always do it because it's impossible.
And you know who I think, and you know which frauditor I think is the biggest bootlicker? I have to say JC News Now, because if you listen to it after what he wants, he just sucks up to the police officer. He just sucks up to him.
Oh, and that's another thing. Oh my God.
The whole boot.
Thank you for saying that. They're the one calling the cops all the time. As soon as somebody said something or pushed them a little bit, they're the one who want to call the cops all the time. Never in my life I did call the cops, not once. So I did. So they want to call the cops all the time. So already when they show up, it's like, hey, officer, sergeant, and they're like they're swallowing the whole freaking boot, man. And then after that, they put them on the thumbnail and they call them tyrants. I'm like, what is going on here? That makes no sense whatsoever. So anyway,
can I ask you something else real quick? I want to know when the frauditors actually do have a case, when they do have a case that why do they they don't like to give the information that the police them ask. I'm like, you literally have a case. You were assaulted.
Yeah.
But no, you don't want to give the police no information. You don't want it. I'm like, perfect example, Bay Area transparency. He had a case, but he don't want to give the police officer his name. He didn't want to give a statement. He didn't want to do anything. I'm like, well, the police officer said, well, you claim that you're a victim of a crime.
Yeah.
He didn't even want to show the video. I'm like, well, you let the security, he did come at him first, the security guard.
Yeah.
He come at him.
Yeah.
So
I know.
He was assaulted.
Yeah. And then the cops is gonna be like, so what's your name? They're like, Fourth Amendment. That doesn't apply here, man. Anyway.
Do you guys know why the frauditor crossed the road?
No.
I don't answer questions.
I don't answer questions. Yeah. I just check the comment real quick before I go to point number 2. I enjoy your video. Hope you're gonna make 2 years. Thank you very much. I hope maybe I'm gonna make a second years if they renew their content, because frauditors right now, man, they're doing nothing. They're frauditing banks, sidewalk. They're horrible. The whole freaking thing is going nowhere. Wait. Norcal is back. Oh my God. That's the first video I ever made. 1 year ago, the 8th April of last year, I made my first video and it was Norcal Cop Watch.
You mean to tell me he's back?
Oh my God, that guy is disgusting. I hope he's back, man, because that's a guy I'm going to roast. I'm going to happy to do it. Sometimes I feel bad when I roast those guys. There's guys that make me feel bad. I'm like, I just...
I love it. I love when you roast them. I love it, especially the lady that the video that you did. What I think of about a month back. The lady that was driving her car with a robe on.
That was driving the car. What?
She was driving the car with a robe on, and she had I guess that was her husband.
Yeah. Law dog.
No, you said if she pulled out one of them things Chili sent her, you was gonna have a heart attack. I laughed so hard.
I love to roast, and when I roast frauditors, I match the energy. That's why when I roast Russell Picron or Glenn Sirio, I go full freaking. I don't care. I don't care if I hurt your feeling, man. Russell. I'm gonna insult you. You know what I mean? I don't care. But there's other people I feel a bit bad. Like
But
Josh
you,
from Broken, I feel bad. I don't know why. There's some like I do it, but I cannot do it as as strong.
you ever
But
thought
some
about
like
you ever thought
what?
about
Yeah.
covering the sovereign citizens or the Moors and people like that?
I love the more stuff. I love the channel. I don't remember his name though. It's a black dude. Very interesting channel. His
Oh,
name
yeah,
doesn't come.
Rise of the Moors. Rise of the Moors. That's it.
Something like that. It's very, very
Yeah.
interesting, and I love the more stuff. The thing is, when I made video about sovereign citizen or something that goes outside of frauditing, I had a zero view, like literally. So that's why, like at one point, you listen to your people, right? People love my roast. They love my classic video. They don't really follow me for anything else so far. So I have to, you know what I mean? I have to kind of I'm not gonna force something that nobody watch, right? I
Yeah,
will make more video about sovereign citizen eventually. I would love to. I would love to make a video about the Moors, but I don't want to spend. You know what I mean? Like hours. I'm alone here. You know what I mean? That's a one man
but
army type thing. I don't want to
but can
spend
I
eight
ask
hours doing a video that 200 people are gonna watch. It's kind of frustrating, you know.
can I ask you one more question? Do you think
Go for it.
do you think do you think the term sovereign citizen is an oxymoron?
Yeah,
It is.
I
it
thought
is.
about it, like, that's an oxymoron.
Yeah. It's yeah. Anyway, uh, you're a liar. Are you saying that to me, man? Because if you're saying that to me, like I'm gonna cry because I really respect you and thank you very much, man. I love this channel.
He's right. You are
Uh,
hilarious.
Thank you.
You are
I
hilarious.
try. I try to. I mean, I'm a writer, so sometimes I put my. I cannot spend too much time writing a video because like I'm limited in my time. But sometimes I write stuff that I'm like, oh, that's good. Like
I,
I
I
laugh at
find
myself, like.
I find you and Fraud Shenanigans very hilarious.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that channel
I
too.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
It's cool. All right, thank you, man. I'm gonna go to point number 2. I think we established pretty clearly that they have no legal arguments whatsoever, and I challenge a frauditor to give me next time you want to write me something instead of just saying I'm a bootlicker. Give me a real freaking argument. That would be my first one, and I swear I'm gonna talk about it in the video. I'm gonna mention it. I'm gonna be so proud that a frauditor or a follower of a frauditing channel give me a real, actual legal argument that is real, not just mentioning something, but that is real. Then, man, I'm gonna I'm gonna talk about it. It's gonna be a big day for me. Uh, Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. You let your video out 30 minutes after mine. Well, I'm going to release them an hour now. I'm going to be before you now. Yeah, but I watch your video too, by the way. I know I don't comment. I'm not a commenter. I don't have that in me. I watch and I don't comment, but I should. But I watch your stuff,
I
man.
I love Unclean Hands. Unclean Hands videos.
Oh
I
yeah.
like his videos. I really do.
I love the no nonsense attitude, the voice, the come he drop the hammer, but just like
Oh,
casually, it's
Unclean.
beautiful,
I'm also
beautiful.
glad to hear about your good news that you got a couple weeks ago. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
All right, man. So we're gonna go to point number 2 of this. Man, we chat a lot, huh? We already. What time is it? I didn't even check it. Whoa, it's been an hour. That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. So let's go to point number 2. Constitutional rights groups hate them. I was surprised when I started this channel. I was surprised how little support they were receiving from actual organization that actually defend and protect constitutional rights. And there's a lot of them, by the way. There's there's a national one, there's states one, and there's a bunch. There's like a lot.
Mhm.
And I was surprised how they never, ever, ever receive some legal support, some a lawyer, some anything. And when I made a little bit of research, I realized that not only they don't support them, they hate them. They even sue a couple of them because they were going against the Constitution. So imagine you're being sued as a frauditor by an organization defending constitutional rights, and they
I think
sue you. That's
was it the
crazy.
ACLU? I think the ACLU was one of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, they tried. Didn't they try to sue the ACLU? Not pretty recently.
The ACLU sue a couple of frauditors,
Sue
but they
sue
didn't.
a couple of them.
Interfering with the election or something.
This is insane, and it shows how they always say like, well, sometimes I receive comments are like, "Oh, without those guys, or right would fall apart and everything," and I laugh and laugh and laugh. Do you realize how many actual professional people work to defend constitutional rights, like and civil rights, actively every freaking day by supporting case, by giving legal support, by giving lawyers, and that's what they do. That's their job. And you're gonna tell me that over the hundreds and hundreds of frauditors that appeared the last 5-6 years, that none of them could even get like an actual support? I mean, that's crazy. And it shows to me how off they are.
And those guys are not standing up for freedom. They're standing up for anarchy. They want to be able to do whatever it is they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it, and not have to have consequences. These guys say that, oh, well, if I'm having to do so under threat of arrest, that gives me standing for a lawsuit. No, it doesn't. They're just telling you the consequences of your actions. It's so stupid. I have not heard of a single lawsuit anyone's even been able to file based on that.
You want to hear something that's even more stupid? I have heard JC News now to call himself a civil rights activist, and you done had Lana in her recent video say she was doing a civil rights investigation. So that's I'm literally sitting up here like, wait a minute, what? What?
What exactly was she investigated? I don't get that part.
Yeah. But anyway, for me, it's just a proof that what they do, it's ridiculous. I mean, they would get support, and honestly, that would shut me down, because then actual lawyer would believe in their stuff. I did talk in February to a constitutional lawyer. I wanted to make an interview with him. He refused to make the interview, sadly. But he told me, he said, I hate those guys. I hate those guys because they turn or fight into a joke. And I was like, okay, so we agree. And the guy was a lawyer, so
maybe you could get chili.
I have to
he called himself a constitutional law scholar, so you could get him. Maybe he'll come on the show one night, and you could debate his. Him and his stupidity.
I would love to debate one of them. I don't know if Chili's a good one, because he's good at, dropping BS without listening. But I would love to find one. I invite a bunch of them. I'm still doing it. One of these days, we're gonna get one. We're gonna get one of those clowns to show up and, have a real talk. It's gonna be fun. So that was my point too, and I have to say that's something that surprised me when I made a little bit of research about it, and when I talked to lawyers, they were like, "Yeah, we hate those kinds of everything." I was like, "Okay, well, that's the proof. That's the proof. Those guys don't do anything, good, basically." So there you
go. And the thing I don't understand is, why do they go and fraud the public defender when someone down the line they gonna need that same public defender?
Because they're morons.
Yeah, that's a way to sue too. Yeah, pretty much. So, all right, I'm gonna skip to point number 1. Ultimately, we want the same things, and that's why it's funny when they insult me, call me bootlicker, say I hate the Constitution, all that stuff, because that's exactly the opposite. I love freedom of speech. I love it so much that I have freedom of speech. And when I make video about you and you copyright strike it, or you insult me, then you show me and you prove me that you hate first freedom of speech. They shit literally on the title of journalism by pretending to be journalist. It's not something you can just self-title. You cannot just do that. You cannot say you're a professional football player, just like that. It has to. You know what I mean? Do you have a contract? Are you in a team? Are you throwing a football? You know what I mean? So when they say they're journalists, you're not doing anything a journalist is supposed to do. So you cannot just say you are one.
I know a journalist would be proud to tell you where you can find this. What's the name of that channel where you can find this information that you're gonna post this to, but they don't like to do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
It's
every
ridiculous.
They'll get sued for using people's images and likeness without permission.
perfect example. You remember when Lana and Georgia Transparency ran into an actual journalist?
Yeah, yeah,
They didn't
yeah.
know what to do.
It could right now I'm working I'm making I'm a writer and I write movies as a, as a side quest in my life, but I'm working for a media group to pay my mortgage, and I work with a bunch of journalists and everything, and there's also a bunch of lawyers and everything, and I talk to those people all the time, and I show some of my video to them, and they could not believe it. They were so insulted that they called themselves journalists. The guy could not believe it. He was so mad. He said, "Do you know how much time I study and I work to become like a professional journalist?" Like, he was so mad. So yeah, and when I say also
Well, I don't
ultimately
blame
we
them.
want the same things, I want a smaller government. I don't believe that law enforcement is not corrupted. I believe that government is corrupted. I don't want. We all believe in the same things, and my problem with frauditing is that by doing what you do, you make it worse, and that's my problem. Because of frauditing, there's more restriction. There's more closed door. There's more
Right, they
locked
keep
door.
necessitating
The-
more laws that they keep necessitating
exactly, they
more
give
laws that are going to
munition
create
to the
more restrictions.
government to exactly,
Perfect,
and that's why ultimately I hate frauditing. Stop giving them munition to take that shit and make it against the rest of the people. You know what I mean?
perfect,
When I go
perfect,
to a government agency and the door is locked, and I have to go to a bunch of little thing, I know why it's like that. It's because of those people like them, and
perfect
I hate
example.
it.
Perfect example
Yeah.
here in Florida because of the frauditors. They now have the Halo law here in Florida.
Hmm.
They have the Halo law here. You got to be now
Mm-hmm.
25 feet back to court the police officer. Now
Yeah.
Ohio is doing the same thing, but the thing is, theirs only is 14 feet. I'm like, see, it's catching on. I'm like, it's because of them.
Yeah.
Laws are changing, and you can't.
Exactly.
The laws are changing, but it's for the bad because of them.
What those criminal moron thought, like like Josh Abrams or whatever. That what did he thought? Like, because he goes in a DMV annoy the worker, that the government is going to be like, oh, whoa, let's change the laws. Let's make it easier for those guys. What it make no sense. Of course they're going to have more restriction. Nobody can win against the government. That's what I mean. If you go too far, they're just gonna find a way to stop it,
I'm
and
still
and I don't want that. I don't want them to attack or minimize my freedom of speech. I don't want them to minimize any of my rights, and that's why I'm so frustrated about those guys. Stop making it worse, and anyway, so that's why I say
exactly.
ultimately we want the same things. We're living, we're fighting the same fights, guys.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate you. I mean,
I'm like,
you know
if you listen to what when they do get arrested, it's if you listen to what the police say, the police always say it's not about you recording, it's about you trespassing. That is the
Mhm.
reason why you arrested.
And
It has nothing to
harassing
do with your camera.
and
Yes,
attacking and spraying people with pepper spray. Yeah.
By the way, this is something the last live stream I made with Will. We were talking about a lot about that. How when it's time to trespass one of them, like if you want to trespass one of them, don't mention the camera. Don't mention the camera to them, to the frauditor, and don't mention the camera to the cops when you call. Don't mention the camera. Talk about loitering. Talk about impeding the
yeah,
business. Talk about legal things. If you mention the camera, you're just gonna f it up, because then it's becoming complicated, And those cops are gonna
right.
be like, "Yeah, we don't really know what to do with that," and the city attorney doesn't want to deal with that stuff because the freaking legal system is overload. So you know what I mean? It's like just. Uh, you're sorry, David. I cut
Yeah.
you.
No, you're
No,
right.
no,
You're
no.
right.
I
That's
understand
about
what
what I
you
was
said. You're
going to say.
right.
And anyway, so that's my top 5 of what I learned in the last year. So they hate freedom of speech. Law enforcement is useless. They have no legal arguments. Constitutional rights group hate them, and ultimately we want the same things. And that's why I cannot be always mad at them. You know what I mean? It's just I don't think they understand the damage they created. They are creating by doing that. I don't think
I mean,
they.
it's a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah,
of
they
things
don't.
they
I'm pretty sure
actually.
they don't.
It's a lot of things they actually can do, but they choose not to do it. Like I brought up an example before during the time, when the government was banning books. I'm like, that's the First Amendment. Where's the frauditors
Yeah.
when you need them?
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah. Oh my
busy
God.
auditing
My God. Right.
they busy auditing
Yeah.
the DMV.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. If they were show up to actual, even no, the DMV, man, what you're gonna accomplish in a post office or a DMV, like it make no sense. And
Yes, I'm like,
it's so silly.
Yeah,
It's
and
so silly.
they're easy. They're soft targets. I mean, you get right there.
or
Exactly,
better
and
yet,
that's another proof that they're not activists. Because if you're just gonna be activists when you know you're safe, that's not activism. That's
or
that's,
better, or
that's
better
the
yet,
opposite of it.
if they like to go and fraud it in the library, I want them to pan their camera over to an empty bookshelf, ask the librarian why there's no books on the shelf. Easy. They've been banned.
Yeah,
That would be a
yeah.
good story if you're a journalist. Figure out why the books are banned.
I that that's
You will actually have
the
more respect.
That's the type of video I don't do. Library auditing, I cannot. It frustrates me too much. I cannot. I cannot even watch the video to critique it. To make comments over it. I cannot even. It's frustrating me too much. At first, I could not do a post office either, but now I'm kind of okay with it. But library, that's too much for me. It's stupid. It's so stupid, and I have nothing else to say that it's stupid. That's it. That's my only argument with those library stupid
They,
freaking
I,
audits.
I
Yeah.
guess they say because it has the word public library, it makes it, when
Yeah, so what?
most of the libraries
It's
are
a
ran by a
library.
board.
Look, who's gonna be in a library? Like a bunch of kids, a bunch of old people reading the paper. You know what I mean? Get out of there, man. You're just there to annoy. Those people doesn't deserve to be annoyed. They just go. I don't know. Like, go fraud at the bank if you're gonna be stupid. At least banks are like they're corrupted. I guess. You
Well,
know what I
and
mean? Like, it's a library. Get out.
in the comments, Stangier and Pedro both have a very good point. It's about the money. If YouTube were to cut off, you were to say we're not going to monetize any of these channels anymore, it would be done in a week.
Yeah,
Literally, of course,
It would be over. They would not be doing it anymore.
100%.
Right.
And also that niche, frauditing niche, cannot survive
It's
outside
all
of
about the
YouTube.
cash.
Maybe a little bit. Some of them make a little bit of money out the Facebook, but I mean, there's no other video platform that's gonna give you what YouTube gave you right now. For those guys, they can go on Rumble or whatever. But there's nothing. There's no views. So it's like they need YouTube. And the minute YouTube is gonna be like, yeah, prank channel, finally, no, that's gonna be the end. We're never gonna hear about those guys again. That's gonna be that's it. LI, I guess LI is gonna find a way to survive. That's gonna be the only one. Yeah, the pain the pain will grow. I know the pain is growing on many things so far. Like I said, the post office, it still drives me mad sometimes. Every time I hear one of them saying poster 7, I just want to smash my head in a wall. Like it's horrible. It's horrible. uh, they have to make sure that library computers and owners to be able to access. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, right. So anyway, so that was it. That was my top 5 of what I learned about frauditing. I don't know what I'm gonna learn the next year. If I'm gonna learn something, I wish they're gonna step their game. I'm tired of the bank auditing. That's horrible. I don't even get it. I'm tired of guy like Fapa, Johnny. Like, exactly. What is he doing? Like, this is horrible. Just as horrible. Even like you check what a guy like Johnny does versus Josh Abrams, and you're like, even Josh Abrams is more productive than him. That's insane. That's madness. When when you can like ending up like having a Josh Abrams being more useful than another guy, that's crazy. So FAPA like and that type of auditing, I don't get it. I don't want to talk about it. It just frustrates me. They don't do anything. They don't produce anything. They just piss off people, citizen, normal people, which I don't get. So I'm like, that's not frauditing anymore. You're supposed to be against the government. The government is supposed to be the enemy. You know what I mean? And you just annoy like if someone in front of cult news. I cannot talk about cult news. I don't. It's
Well,
too much. It's too rough, man.
but
It's rough.
caught news. The lucid dream always roast him. So
I hate his tone. I hate his smugness.
He
I
is just
hate
an
that.
exercise in hypocrisy. He really is.
Yeah. And you say those things like it's so annoying, and I hate when they play idiot. You know when they're gonna be like, well, "I'm just on the street. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what's the problem." It's like, shut up, man. Just shut up. Seriously, you know what you're
Fab
doing.
was
And
good at that.
that frustrates me so much. Like that when they play the idiot, like Russell Pickron. Oh my god, just like I want to kick their ass. Yeah, continue. Yeah, pretty much.
It's a lot I can say about Georgia transparency, but I can't. I digress from that tonight. But pretty much I say a lot more about him.
Yeah.
Russell, I haven't made a video about him for a while. He's in this kind of weird phase of his frauditing where he's always talking about the same things, like a city somewhere and the mayor and whatever. I really don't care. So when he's gonna restart to do normal frauditing, I might check. But I haven't made a video about him for a while, and he was one of my favorite before.
He's probably busy making tracks here in the South. So.
My most hate frauditor is the last one I watched. The rest die for a second. Reagan is the worst. Yeah, Reagan. She win, by the way, when we made Who's the Worst Frauditor female edition. The queen of the worst is Reagan, and the king of the worst was Josh Abrams. So that's a nice couple. Imagine Josh Abrams and Reagan Benson auditing together.
Imagine that having a kid.
Man, that would be madness. That would be next level. That we were like flying, like they would like create some kind of a black hole of stupidity. You know what I mean? And all Earth would start like to kind of revolve around it until we all disappear. It would be something else.
I'm telling you, Regan gonna come across the one person that's not gonna take that. Is not gonna take that BS that like she like to put out there. I guarantee you, something's gonna happen. She gonna come across the wrong person.
Yeah, well, since we were talking about frauditing, like the future of frauditing, I cannot wait for one of them to actually do something because they're not doing anything right now. They're just surfing on what they know is safe and doing banks and shit. So one of them is gonna have to do something, for safety maybe, or a guy like. No delete laws or whatever. Like one of them, or maybe Craig Andrew, when he's gonna get out of jail, one of them is gonna have to like do something that's gonna rejuvenate. You know what I mean? The thing a little bit, change, and get out of the FOIA, thingy that I cannot stand, and the banks and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like it's time for the movement to go somewhere else.
I keep saying, if they want to impress me, want to move on, I would love for them to come fraud in the projects. I would love for them to come fraud, to come go into the hood, go into the black neighborhoods, the urban neighborhoods, go into them and just stand your camera right down in the corner and harass them for a quick 5 minutes. And I guarantee you, they go running right back to the post office. That's what I say. Go to the projects, do something. I'm like,
even Eli would not do something like that. That's
Eli wouldn't. No, he wouldn't do that. I guarantee you, if like the frauditors in California, I keep saying, please go to South Central. Please go to South Central. I would love to see y'all leave out the suburbs and just go into the hood, go into into the urban neighborhoods and go and bother them people. Let's see what happens. I would love to see what happens.
But they're gonna have to do something because the views and everything are dropping on their side pretty drastically. Many frauditing channel that was working very well are working okay. They're still working nice, but you compare to the view they were having 2 years ago, it's not even close. So, and the more and more they're going to get desperate, the more they're going to have to come up with something. And that's what I'm saying. One of them is going to end up being so desperate that he's going to take something too far. You know what I mean? And that's going to be the point where like the community are going to kind of step up again, you know?
They was getting views during the pandemic, but now since the pandemic is basically over, they don't have nothing else to do.
And because a lot of them are criminals, there's literally nothing else they can do. They cannot even just like start to work normally from now on. So they have to keep the grift going. Without the grift, they have nothing. So one of them, I feel, is gonna go too far. I don't know what that means, by the way, and I hope nobody's gonna get like unalive or anything. But I feel that one of them is gonna take it a step too far, and that's gonna kind of. You know what I mean? Like the mainstream media is going to talk about it, and then suddenly it's going to kind of, take this whole movement into a new direction. But right now, man, it's dead.
like Lana, for instance, she can't afford to get arrested. I mean, why you think, in her last video when she was in South Carolina, she gave her information quick, fast, in a hurry, and when they told her to leave, she left. But she still kept asking that. She kept asking that stupid question. And if I don't leave, what happened? I'm like, didn't you learn what happened?
It's so funny when they want them to say we're gonna arrest you, and they're like, oh, that's all I need. That's all I need. A threat of arrest. That's all you need for what?
For what? There's no legal standard.
There's no exact.
I'm like, it just proves your stupidity.
They keep saying that. They keep saying that. Oh, that's all I need. I don't get it, man. Anyway, look.
And then when they say
talk about sorry.
And then when they say I could use this video for court. No, you won't. You cannot enter. You cannot enter edited evidence into court.
And anyway, the only time they won something in court is when there were actual violence from a
another thing that drives me nuts is this. Well, I was just leaving.
Oh my God, I was just leaving. That one was in the top 5 of the frauditing lies. Yeah, right. Yeah, I was just about to leave. Look, that was cool, man. I'm gonna have to almost an hour and a half. I think this is my longest live stream ever. You two guys are have a lot to say. Sorry, Robert.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I wish Will was here because Will seemed like the type of person who like to put pineapple on pizza.
Well, to quote the Flintstones.
Sorry, David, I didn't go.
Guys, to quote the Flintstones exposer, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
A full year of YouTube, man. That was weird. That was a weird. I didn't know if it went further than I thought. People like sometimes I receive comment. I don't have a bunch of subscribers, but I'm kind of happy with it actually because for my first year I was aiming to around 5, so I'm pretty cool with the number I have now. And that number keep growing slowly but surely. So if I can just double that to the next year, I'm gonna stay. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep doing it. And
you're doing a good job. I like your videos. Every time I get an alert on your video, I'll save it for watch later and I'll watch it later. So
I release it as soon as it's done. When you watch it and it's like I just finished it. You know what I mean? My finger are still on the keyboard. I mean one video a day, and it's one freaking challenge to find the video, watch it, write the thing, do the editing, all the thing. It take me like 4 or 5 hours each time. It's a freaking job, man. It's a freaking job.
But I always wanted to ask you, what does that mean? The Asian lady at the end of your videos, what is she saying, and what does it mean?
Yeah, I'm never gonna say it. I'm never gonna say it, man. So that's it. Just find out. But it's pretty. I mean, it's mean. You know what I mean? She just say like something very mean, and I mean,
Mr. Thomas, let me see if I can put this in a tactful explanation. It involves something you should not be doing with your mother.
It's something. It's not something nice, but it's a Filipino very classic insult. It's like.
I mean, sound like whatever she's saying. It sounds like she really mean it.
It's like the French when they say "fils de pute." So it's a kind of the same type of a thing. But I don't want to say it because it's funny. I still to this day, a year after, even if she's at the end of every one of my video, a year after, I still receive comment and even email asking me what does she say, and I love it. I just love it, and I'm gonna keep that mystery going as long as possible. um yeah, I'm married to I'm married to a Filipino woman, so that's why that was just my wink wink to my own, like to have a Filipino someone to close my video was just a wink to my own personal life.
Okay, I may be
Yeah.
out of the loop on this. I think I asked you this before, but are you French?
I am. I was born in Canada. I live in Europe, and I live in United States, and I work in United States for the last 20 years. So my accent is like a bunch of different things, but I speak French, I speak English, and a little bit of other languages. Not as good though. But yeah, but the last 20 years I work exclusively with with United States company, and everything I write is going from it's in English and everything. So yeah, I speak English every day. My whole life is in English, but I never could get rid of my accent. It's
I know
there forever, man.
because when I first started listening to your videos, started watching your videos, I'm like, dude, sound like Pepe Le Pew.
Oh, je peux parler le français très très bien.
See, there you go.
I
I
speak
don't
French
know
very
what
well.
he said.
I mean, Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew is one of my favorite character, man. That guy was a rapist, but this was funny.
A rapist?
Yeah, he is, man. That dude, Pepe Le Pew, would be on a list these days. You know what I mean?
He would be on the list. He would. He would be on the list.
He's not getting on a plane, that's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I know my accent is something. I receive a lot of comments also asking me where I'm from. I would be, if I have to say I'm something, I'm Canadian,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't identify
Yeah,
something
I
in
even read.
particular.
I even read one comment on one. I think it's on one of your older videos. It was a comment saying, "How can you say anything about the fraudsters when you're not even from the United States?" I'm like, "Well, we don't know that for sure. There's a lot of people here with foreign accents that live in the United States."
Of course, and what's the problem when frauditors have accents? You know what I mean? The Siberian tiger, Aselmo, whatever. Oh, that's not a problem. That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
Casey Camera Boy.
Yeah. No, trust me.
But
I know. I know the United States in and out, man. I spent a lot of time here. As I say, I work for 20 years now with American companies. Like I'm aware of what's going on. You don't need to have your 2 feet. I mean, look at those frauditors. They're most of them never went out of where they live, and they're completely moron, and they don't understand their own constitution and their own country, and they hate their country because they call United States a freaking tyranny, and it's not. It's not at all.
They don't understand tyranny.
I think it's a fantastic country, and since I work in media and pop culture, United States is fantastic, man. Like the idea that you can develop in that country, nowhere else in the world you can do something like that. So I love this country. It's and the national park. I mean, this is a beautiful country. And those guys, I'm sorry, they hate their own country, and so they can shit on me, but I respect
the First Amendment was made to criticize the government, but they're not doing it the right way, though.
Exactly. And when you call your own country a freaking tyranny, I mean, and it's not, you don't love your country, man. You should love that place because individual rights here is insane. You can do literally anything, and they're still like, they get my rights away. What are you talking about? Travel, man. Get out. Go in other country. You'll see what it is to lose your right. Anyway.
I'm like, yes. I'm like, you could. I'm like, when you basically could harass people on the sidewalk all day, and the police could say, "Well, he's on the sidewalk. Isn't that as long as he's off your property, he has the right to do what he do." But yet,
trust
you
me,
still
man,
call the police officer a tyrant.
You don't do those things. Trust me, you don't do those things in Nordic country, in Sweden. You'll be able to do that. In UK, it's gonna be rough. In Italy, man, do that kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. Cops are just gonna move you. Like they're just gonna be like, nah, boom, and you move. People don't know how easy they have it here. Like it's very easy here.
But those frauditors in the UK, man.
Yeah, I
I've
know
seen
it's
a couple
something
of their
else.
videos. I'm like,
I'm gonna make a UK frauditor video soon. I didn't make one so far, but I'm gonna make one. They're funny, and the
one
action
of
is
when
just
the
like beautiful.
one of when they ordered. I'm trying to figure out why is they ordered frauded in a car dealership. I'm like, isn't that private property?
I know
I'm like,
it's
even
different.
though it's
Yeah,
UK, but it may be different. I don't know. But he was literally frauded in a car dealership. It didn't look like a car dealership, but it was a car dealership.
yeah. I know it's different. Look, I'm gonna have to bounce.
Yeah, same
Thanks a
here.
lot, guys, for being
Beautiful.
here.
Yep.
Mr. Thomas, David, it's always a pleasure to talk with you
Bonsoir,
guys.
mon
You're the
ami.
best.
Bonsoir, mon ami.
Bonsoir, mon ami. We're gonna talk to each other pretty soon. Obviously, thank you for everybody that was in the chat. Paul Cohen again, all the way to the end with his comment. What's the last comment? Let me check. Tyrant equals someone who told me so. Who told me no? Yeah,
No.
both are good. Both are good. Someone who told me so, or someone who told me no. And we have the final comment of the day. They don't know what a tyranny is, and that's my main point. They have absolutely have
True.
no idea what a tyranny is. What to live in a country where your rights are minimum. They have no idea, and you feel it in those countries. Trust me, you know that you cannot do anything. And I'm not talking North Korea or Russia. This is something that in many
Russia.
countries you're gonna feel. In East Europe, in Africa, in some country, and in Asia. Trust me, government are very powerful. You're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and people in America they can do whatever, man. Literally, like whatever, and they're complaining in the street and frauditing DMV. It's like, come on, this is absurd.
Yeah, right.
So travel a little bit, guy. Go explore the rest of the world. Realize that United States is cushy, man. It's very cushy. Not for everybody. Not for poor people. If you're poor in the United States, it's rough, like in everybody else in the world. But if you have your shit together in United States, it's pretty sweet. I mean, come on.
Right.
That's coming. My sister was a lawyer, and I watched video every day. We love comical comebacks. See, there's the thing. I received comments from and message from lawyer telling me they love my video. I'm pretty sure GC News now don't receive those comments from lawyers telling him
I know.
that what he's doing.
You do. You have a lot of witty comebacks. You have a lot of witty comebacks. You could be a stand-up comedian. That's why I said you and Frauder Shenanigans have the best videos and the best comebacks to these frauditors.
You know, man. I wrote for comedian. I would not do the stand up myself, but I wrote for comedian. I love to write comedy. Anyway, man, look, it's good. It's gonna be. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the interest. Thank you for everything. That was great. I'm gonna keep doing this channel as long as I can. I hope frauditors are gonna step their game soon. You know, but yeah, I'm not done.
On for another year. Congratulations on your first one, and be ready for a second one.
We'll be here
Thanks
in
a
a
lot,
year.
man.
See what's up.
Oh my God, you're too nice, guys. Stop it. All right, I'm bouncing. Thanks everybody again. We're gonna see you next week. Hopefully, Will is gonna be back. This married man that, yeah, he's under the control of his woman now. Like it's not.
I mean,
funny,
he's got married now, so he don't know us anymore now. So
Actually,
exactly.
I think he had to work late tonight, but
we're just a bunch of insult for him now. You know, like anyway. I'm gonna try to reconnect to Will, so maybe he's gonna be here next week.
hey,
and yeah,
everybody, be sure to check out Doc Lano's live stream Sunday at 1:30. It's gonna be pretty good.
All right, man. Cool. Sunday 1:30. Be there, people, and have a good weekend. We're gonna see you Monday with a new video. And bye bye.
Alrighty.
Bye bye.
See you later.
Bye bye.
Have a good evening.